Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulullah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Ya Fatah, Ya Alim, iftah lana fathan qariba wa zidna ilma, amma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi everybody. Jazakumullah khairan for joining me as we go through episode 3 of Quran with Armaan. Now, if I was to ask you, or ask anyone, why don't you read the Quran? Or why don't you understand the Quran? Most people would say, I'm too busy to read it. But I believe that everyone can prioritize their time and schedule their time so that you can devote some time. The other reason that I get is I can't understand Arabic. Okay, maybe you can't understand Arabic. What's stopping you from picking up a translation? And then the most common reply to this is that I need someone more qualified than me, someone with more knowledge to actually understand it and interpret it and then tell me about it. So that's what's happened these days. We've now moved on to relying on YouTube videos and other scholars telling us exactly what to think. Okay? So we hear about all these different people who read the Quran and then they misinterpret it and then they do some really unbelievable things. And because of this, the scholars have said you need someone more knowledgeable to tell you what it actually means to prevent these radical movements taking place. And because of this backlash, now all of us have just forgotten about the Quran. We now rely on our scholars to tell us about the Quran and even what to think about it as well. So I decided one day to read a ayah of the Quran, and that's the ayah that I'm going to read today. And the ayah I'm going to read today is from Surah A'raf. It's verse number 26. Okay, Surah A'raf, verse 26. And in this surah, it basically mentions the whole story of Adam alayhi salam and his fall from Jannah. But then it starts talking about clothing. So let me recite first of all. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا بني آدم قد أنزلنا عليكم لباسا يواري سوآتكم وريشا ولباس التقوى ذلك خير ذلك من آيات الله لعلهم يذكرون. So, what is the translation of this? O children of Adam, we have bestowed upon you clothing to conceal your private parts or your shame, and as an adornment. But the clothing of righteousness is best. That is from the signs of Allah that perhaps they will remember. Okay, so let's go through this one at a time, bit by bit. Okay, O children of Adam. So Allah is talking about everybody, and then He is reminding us that we are the children of Adam. We all share an ancestor. We have bestowed upon you clothing to conceal your private parts, and as an adornment. So, clothing is a gift from Allah. Why? To conceal my private parts and to give me modesty and make me look beautiful. Okay? So, it's reminded me of the fact that Allah loves beauty. And Allah is beautiful and loves beauty. So, if these clothes make me beautiful, then Allah will also love me, inshallah. So, what comes next? The clothing of righteousness. The clothing of righteousness is best. Wait, Allah didn't say the clothing of the righteous people. He said the clothing of righteousness. What is the clothing of righteousness then? Do you think that it could be, is the first thing you think of a thobe and a topi? Is it an abaya and a niqab? Is that the first thing that comes into your mind? Well, when I was thinking about it, I was thinking, maybe it's all the good deeds that I do, all the righteous things that I do. All of it envelops me in a metaphorical clothing. So people can see that I'm doing these good deeds. People can see this clothing of this metaphorical clothing of righteousness. Okay, so that could be one interpretation of what the clothing of righteousness is. Okay, and then Allah has gifted me clothes to protect my shame. Sawatukum. Okay, the least I can do is be righteous to help hide my personal shames. Okay, righteousness will make me look beautiful, and Allah will put nur into my life. Okay, and this is not the metaphorical nur that we hear of. Oh, his face is full of nur. What does that mean? It means that Allah has put beauty into your face. You'll look brighter, you'll look cleaner, you'll look much more youthful, for example. He'll make me look fit and healthy, for example. So not a metaphorical light, an actual light that will beautify me even more. And Allah mentions that the clothing of righteousness is best. Okay, that must mean that it's better than just protecting my private parts and then as an adornment. It must be better than that. Clearly emphasizing that He'll give you more if you're righteous. And then these are the signs that perhaps they will remember. What are they going to remember? That you must remember that the clothes are a gift from Allah. And also the ability to do righteous deeds are from Allah. So make sure you guys remember that. And there's also so many other things to remember. Just remember Allah in general. Remember to have taqwa. Remember to be grateful for the clothes that you've been given. And but Allah just doesn't limit it to clothes. He gives you so many other things. He gives you everything. So whenever I do anything good, is also a sign that Allah, for me to remember Allah. Okay? I could not have done anything righteous if it wasn't for the guidance of Allah. Okay? So, and the last thing I want to mention is that in this little ayah, it says, perhaps they will remember. Okay? Why doesn't it say, perhaps you will remember? Perhaps you will remember, or perhaps they will remember. Why is it they? Maybe it's because Allah is talking to those further away from Him. Maybe those people who don't have the clothing of righteousness. Allah is talking to them. Maybe they can adopt the clothing of righteousness and then come closer to Allah. So then He becomes more like a you instead of a they. So all these kind of things can be used to get closer to Him, inshallah. Okay. So the takeaway points for today is remember the gifts of Allah and to be grateful for them. Wear modest and beautiful clothes without arrogance, of course. Do righteous deeds and remember the rewards for doing so, and that is only through Allah's will. It is only Allah that has allowed you to do that. And remember Allah and gain a closest to Him through righteousness. Okay, so that was kind of what I wanted to talk about the ayah. The second bit that I want to talk about is we have Ramadan right around the corner. So I want you guys to start preparing right now. Okay? It's only a few days away. Your preparation should have started a long time ago. But for those who haven't prepared anything yet, make sure you start preparing from today. So what do you need to prepare? Loads of things. Do you guys pay your zakat during Ramadan? Maybe try and get that calculated before Ramadan starts. Okay? Have you done any fasts to prepare for Ramadan? If not, maybe do Thursday this Thursday. That's a sunnah day. Okay. Have you guys made dua lists? That's so important. Every day at iftar time, you need to make a short dua. Okay. And then maybe one for salat as well. And then definitely a much bigger, longer one for Laylatul Qadr. Okay. So make sure you guys get your dua lists prepared. The other thing I want to mention about Ramadan is we have to look at Ramadan. Everybody should try to be a better person after Ramadan than they were before Ramadan. That's a big goal, and we have to try and aim towards it. The one thing that we fail to do is whenever we set goals during Ramadan, they tend to be worship goals, personal worship goals. So, for example, I'm going to finish a khatam of the Quran, or I'm going to read a dua every single day. I'm going to do istighfar 100 times a day. These are the types of goals that we set. And then as soon as Ramadan is over, we're no longer able to keep up with the amount of worship that we did during Ramadan. So what I want you guys to do this Ramadan is make different types of goals. So, for example, keep your personal worship goal. You need that. So your khatam of the Quran, for example, you want to do that. Cool. Keep that goal in mind. But then I have a few other categories you should try and incorporate as well. The next one is a personal goal. Okay, something that's personal to you. So, for example, this could be limiting yourself to one type of fried food during iftar. So no more pakoras and samosas. So only pakoras tonight, or only samosas tomorrow night. Okay? I know you guys are going to be flipping when you hear that. Or maybe it's something else for you. Maybe you need to give up on the sugary drinks. Or maybe you need to give up on some of the desserts. So instead of having 2 or 3 desserts, maybe have one type of dessert. Okay? Or even limit it to 1 time a week. It's up to you. That's a personal goal. So we have our personal worship goal. We have our personal goal. Number 3 is our learning goal. So what are we going to learn this Ramadan? Are we going to learn a new surah? Maybe it's Surah Mulk that you want to learn so that you can recite it every night after Ramadan. Or maybe it's the last 2 ayat of Surah Baqarah so that you can recite it every night after Ramadan as well. Or perhaps it's the whole of Juz Amma, or some Rabbana du'as. Any kind of, or anything that you think that you would like to learn. So this is the 3rd category I want you to try and create a goal for. Okay, so personal worship goal, personal goal, a learning goal. Okay, so the difference between personal worship and learning is the personal worship you just do, and then the learning one you have to actually physically learn it. Okay, the next one I want you to incorporate is a family goal. So bring your family together and then discuss, what can we do as a family? Okay, it could just be more family bonding time. So once a week we'll have some time, and then one of us will decide what we want to do that day, and then the following week another person can choose what to do for that hour of the week. That's like a family goal. Maybe you could incorporate some family worship into it as well. So maybe for half an hour you'll recite some Quran with each other, or maybe you'll go through a hadith of the day, for example. And these are things that can be carried on after Ramadan as well, very easily. 1 hadith a day. Okay, so that was number 4. The 5th thing that I want you to do is create a better person goal. So how are you going to be a better person? Is it that you're going to smile more? Or is it that you're not going to get angry so quickly? Are you going to help your mother with dinner iftar every night? And then after Ramadan, you'll go into, you'll start helping them with dinner instead. After Ramadan, that will really, really help. So these are the different types of goals that I want you to incorporate. because too often we finish Ramadan and we go right back to how we were before Ramadan started. And how do we combat that? We try to make different types of goals, so that even if we hit 2 out of the 5 categories that I talked about, you will feel a sense of achievement and you will feel like you're a better person after Ramadan. So I want you guys to try and incorporate those types of goals into your lives. Okay? Well, I think we'll call it a day there. There's no questions. Nope. Okay, cool. If you guys ever have any questions, make sure you ask the questions in the comment section or in the question section as well. Make sure you put your likes and subscribes on as well. Cool. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين جزاكم الله خيرا السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته رمضان مبارك